By the way, people, I'm sober. I was for a long, long time, more than a couple years. But I had some problems last year, and so I fell off the wagon, but I'm sober again. It's not easy. Cigarettes will go next. I've only been smoking for about 7 years. I can't do both at the same time. I spoke to my spouse about it this morning, and I just can't do both at the same time. I do have those little Nicorette. We get reimbursed for up to 50 euros a year of help with quitting smoking here in France, as long as we have, as long as we're in the Social Security system. All right, this is part 3 of my first job in France. On job interviews, you are routinely asked your age, marital status, number of kids, and how you'll get to work. Ads openly insist you send a photo of yourself and also specify the age groups they are looking for in their applicants. Women are paid less than men, but there is a little more equality in pay. Everyone earns nothing. French public transportation shuts down from midnight until dawn. I was expected to work until 1, 2, or even 3 or 4 a.m. at the restaurant as needed. How was I supposed to get home? I barely spoke French and had a hard time finding my way around. I was a New Yorker for 17 years, and am not easily intimidated, but at my horrible job, I felt like I was less than zero. It should be, I felt as though I was less than zero. The heat and cigarette smoke was unbearable. No scheduled breaks. The noise was literally deafening, and I had to stand all the time. I'm disabled, by the way. Worse, the staff was made to dance to music from Grease and other horrible movies for the clients. We had to drop everything and jump up on the tables and perform like monkeys. You had to be very physically fit and pray you wouldn't fall. The managers yelled at the staff and threatened them. One manager was a gay male who'd been fired from Euro Disney, which is not named that anymore, for being homosexual. He was the worst of them, a real backstabber. At 21, he already looked more than 10 years older than he was. Most of the French do. Another manager was a dyke from Australia who seemed to like me. I was originally a lesbian, so knew right away what was going on when she stared at my cleavage. She slobbered. Oops. A bright spot was when clients would get up and run out without paying their bills while we were dancing for them. A Bloody Mary was $10 and a pizza was $25. They were French francs at the time. I was using equivalents. So you can imagine the bills. The wait person was held responsible for the bill, but usually just laughed it off. What were they supposed to do? What were we supposed to do? Work as a security guard while you're standing on a bar shaking your ass? One night, the dyke screamed at me for no reason. I screamed back, and she threw me out. That was that. I cried and cried. I was in a severe clinical depression for about 6 months after that, but had no idea how to get or pay for medical help. I can advise you on that now, by the way. Much later, I went on a job interview and kind of pressured them into hiring me by yesing them to death and offering to work in the first month for free. I worked from 9 a.m. until 7 p.m. with no break on a busy trading floor for a small, I call it clandestine brokerage firm. It was actually a sub-brokerage firm. They're no longer legal here. I analyzed, they were actually kind of clandestine. I analyzed foreign currency transactions, ran the back office, was the only secretary for the place, cleaned the kitchen, cooked lunch, shopped, went to the post office, bought bread, etc. They did pay for my bus and subway ticket, but at the end of the month, I got about $600. They paid for 50% of it. I have to clarify that. They talked me into signing a part-time work contract, promising to pay me the difference in cash, tax-free. They have never paid me for all the hours I've worked, and the free lunches they promised were inedible and then stopped completely. I now work from 10 to 6, no break, and try to think of ways not to work, steal postage, phone calls, faxes, and something to eat. During the strikes in France last year, so I must have written this in 1996, I could not get to work for 3 weeks. They called me and threatened to fire me for refusing to walk 25 miles to work while the whole country was shut down for about 6 weeks. You couldn't even buy a newspaper or get mail. I was not paid for my days at home. Now that's normal when we have these strikes here and you can't get to work. They can't fire you. You have to notify them in writing by registered mail. But the post offices were closed. I was able to send them a telegram. I don't remember how I did that. If I want to quit, I must notify them by registered mail and give them 30 days to replace me. I'd like to see where they'll find somebody with 15 years of experience in Wall Street, an MBA who types 110 words per minute on French or European or telex machines, who speaks and writes fluent English plus French and Italian, and who serves coffee. But that's beside the point. If you've heard France is an easy ride, lots of vacation time, job security through work contract, good retirements, daycare, health benefits, you're just not well informed. France is very socialist, communist, worker-oriented, and it's a good thing. Communism is loved here because it gave the workers the rights they do have. By the way, Americans, you got your rights because of the communists over here and in other places, but largely here, actually in Saint-Denis. The bosses are bogged down by an impossible bureaucracy. The economy is stubbornly stagnant. Workers play sullen games, knowing they will never get a raise. There are no social benefits for, There are no social benefits for non-workers and non-Europeans. You have to contribute into the system in order to get benefits, which I think is a good thing. If you quit your intolerable job, can't find another, and become homeless, God help you. There are no homeless shelters here. That's not quite true, but it's not a stretch to say that. There are no social benefits for those who have slipped between the cracks, such as myself. You must carry identification at all times, show it on demand, and are usually under camera surveillance. People just submit to this like sheep. Apathy and corruption rule. More than 50% of teenagers here are sexually active and don't use condoms. France has the highest rate of AIDS in all of Europe and almost in all the world. Later this year, I hope to finally qualify for work at temp agencies. I have no idea what to expect. I'll let you know. Now, I will try to put balloons on this. Information in the sidebar. A lot of this is still valid. This is in the book Best of Temp Slave, an anthology. I recommend this book, Working in France, which came out in 1991, but it is still reasonably useful. I find it still quite useful. Through my website, CUTECATFAITH.com, CUTECATFAITH.com. You will see my rates. They're listed for my rune readings, but it's basically 200 euros for 25 minutes. I've given away a lot of free information in the past to people. I've been very generous with my time. And I've gotten almost nothing in return. Desire not the fruits of thy labors from the Bhaghavad-Gita is one of my sayings, however, and I try to stick to that. Desire not the fruits of thy labors. All right, I hope that this was useful to you, amusing, entertaining. Reach out to me. Please rate, subscribe. On YouTube, my channels are Slobo Motion and Cute Cat Faith. And on Daily Motion, I am Lisa Falour, Lisafalour. That's all one word. Thank you for watching. Please comment, share. I hope that this was useful to you. Consider Iceland, okay? Again, I can advise you on that with reasonable accuracy. Okay, thank you. Bye.